So I think it's also, I'm trying to, I think it's also, blah, I'll cut this out. And not necessarily lowering your expectations, but realizing that you are human and that you know, just sometimes just being my brain. I don't have anything.
That's okay.
Hi friends, family, and fellow unicorns. Welcome back to another Iffy and Eli show. If you want to hear what we're going to be talking about, the 4 agreements, stay tuned.
So let's start with the first agreement. Be impeccable with your word.
Well, maybe we should explain to them what the 4 agreements are.
So what are the 4 agreements?
I know it's a book. It's like a self-help book, right? Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a while since I prepped us for this Iffy and Eli show, but as I recall, the 4 agreements was written by an author, and it may have come from a Native American or older concept, but he turned it into a book which has become very popular and influential for people that, you know, are into self-improvement and positive thinking.
So, we're just going to give our take on it. We really like to do these like self-helpy things. I don't know, it just understands our personalities more, and we're kind of geeky in that way.
We're definitely positive psychology and self-improvement geeks, and it's
For sure.
a lot of fun. I think it's had a positive impact on our lives, like learning, practicing, and becoming better at being sort of friendly people with positive social connections with ourselves and each other.
I agree.
All right, good time to talk about the first agreement?
Yes, number 1.
Okay, first agreement, be impeccable with your word, which has 4 parts to it. Speak with integrity, say only what you mean, avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others, and use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Do you have thoughts right off the top about the first agreement?
I mean, most of my channel is about spirituality and being the best version of ourselves, right? So for me, right off the bat, I am huge on language. I am huge on not only speaking with integrity and these things to other people, but doing so to yourself, because the more we can build up ourselves and be our own best friends, and just love ourselves fully, wholly, and truly, it's then going to create a ripple effect for us to spread that love and that integrity and all these great things to other people, and it won't be so, it'll be second nature to us. So I guess right off the bat, that's what came to my mind.
That's good. Now with me, I feel like I've struggled with avoiding using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. And it's hard, and so I would include with that self-forgiveness. Like negative self-talk, I mean, it does happen sometimes. Talking about other people, you know, most of us slip up and do that. So I think it's important to include self-forgiveness. So like, hey, you know what? I was talking negative about myself, but I'm just compounding it if I'm talking negative about myself. So that's why I would include self-forgiveness in there.
I love that. I think that is huge too, because self-forgiveness, I mean, it just helps you go further. Awesome job, Dave.
Thanks, babe. Do you want to read the second agreement?
Sure. Number 2. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. C, I should have got ABC, but whatever. C, when you're immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. This has been the biggest lesson it's been the most valuable thing, I think, for me in my personal journey. When I started to realize that other people's opinions don't really matter. What truly matters, and I don't mean that from a harsh way. I value what he thinks and what he says, but sometimes when you put your ideas or your just thoughts out there, people, because of where they are on their journey, they might want to attack or get defensive or these things can happen. And I think once I learned to separate all of that from, oh, that could just possibly be something that they're working on, it just helped me come from a place of neutrality. I can't say that word. Neutrality? Did I say it right?
Yes.
It just helps me come to a neutral standpoint so I can then just come from a loving place instead of me getting defensive and working up. But I think that's huge. Any thoughts?
Oh yeah, I had two thoughts on this one, babe. First one is that this reminds me of the expression, everyone's going through a struggle that we know nothing about, so to be kind to everybody. And that's a good way to look at it. A lot of times what feels like attacks from other people is they're really like shadow boxing their own demons.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
It's not as personal as we think. And it just takes one person to step out of that cycle sometimes for healing to begin for all parties.
Yep.
And then also these concepts remind me of a very influential book for me that was recommended by a mentor called Crucial Conversations. And the second agreement is basically the key idea of crucial conversations, which is kind of just putting yourselves in other people's shoes and assuming the best motivations for them, even if they don't have the best motivations. By treating people like they have good motivations, you can positively transform your relationship with them and sometimes even their own self-identity.
Do you guys see what I married this man? So eloquently put. He's spot on, I feel, but maybe I'm biased. I don't know.
Thanks, babe.
Okay, number 3. All you.
Okay, number 3, don't make assumptions. A, find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. B, communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. And C, with just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. Any thoughts about this one come to mind for you?
The first thing is like assumptions. They make an ass out of you and me. But no, it's just true. Like learning how to value your own opinion so you can speak up and hopefully get what you want in a loving way. Yeah, and communication. So often, you know, stuff can get lost in communication if you're not super clear and direct. The more we can articulate our thoughts and feelings with clarity, then it's easier to, you know, have great relationships with other people, maybe save a relationship with somebody else, because words can get lost in translation and people not on purpose can sometimes hear, you would put this, I feel like, more eloquently than I might, but I feel like sometimes people can hear what's going on within themselves first, which may not be the prettiest picture. So perception is everything. They'll hear first what they're negatively perceiving within themselves or other people, and then the communication can be lost because they're still people are working with their own stuff first. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, babe.
Can you put it in a way that just ties it nicely together?
Okay, well, maybe I'll talk about my thoughts about don't make assumptions, and I think there's an overlap there. Like for me, like really focusing on the first one, find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. I think that's powerful. And it reminds me of a scene from a TV show, Mr. Robot, where a character talks about having the will to power. And in this life, a lot of times the person that seizes what they want gets it. So like if you want a position or want a job, a lot of it is just having the will to it, saying this is what I want. And that can be true also like in transforming a relationship with somebody, building a connection. Friendships are usually started by the first person who says, hey, I want you for a friend. You know, let me strike up a conversation and communication. And Iffy's great at that. I'm very proud of her. Every time like she reaches out and makes a new friend, oftentimes through social media, that becomes a real life friend. And then I try to be that way too.
I love that. Thanks, babe. Okay, number 4. Always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. And I think that ties in perfectly when Eli was talking about self-forgiveness, because sometimes, I know I'm guilty, I'm a perfectionist, recovering, and I always want to do everything perfect. And what he tells me often is like, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. So for me, maybe my best was getting out of bed that day and cleaning and editing a video. And if that's all I could do, I kind of have to have self-forgiveness. Like, okay, I don't need to jump way up here when right here is perfect. Yeah, I think it's just having a different perspective of what you think could be the best.
Well, what you were saying earlier about how, be self-forgive and be proud of what you get done each day reminds me of my boss's, one of his sayings. He's got a few, and one of them is, inch by inch, life's a cinch. Yard by yard, life is hard. But basically, yeah, so like if you get a little bit thing done, each day, and then celebrate that, at least, sometimes it might be a little bit more, sometimes a little less. Over time, it will accrue to big things.
Yeah.
Like your whole YouTube channel, which is, you've got over 100 videos, it's really awesome.
I know,
and
hard work.
Inspire people all over the globe, so it's really cool. And then another thing I was thinking is that I like from Always Do Your Best, which is that your best is going to be different when you're healthy versus when you're sick. And so, none of us would want to be judged by how we perform on our worst day, and we get excited about how we perform on our best days, because that kind of shows where our potential is and where it can grow. So I think that's very good to think that nobody can really be judged by a snapshot of their life.
I agree. I have nothing else to add because that was to the point.
Well, folks, those are the 4 agreements and our thoughts on them. And we wanted to do like a little short video for you guys this time. And we'll be back for our next one. We've got many more great ideas lined up, but then we're also open to suggestions. If there's a topic of positivity or self-development, feel free in the comments or to send Iffy a message. Let us know what you'd like us to do a video on.
Yeah, pretty much. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, share it with friends if you found it inspiring. Yeah, that's it. Thanks guys for watching. See you in the next video. We love you.
We love you.
Bye.